What is going on, everyone? Today I'm bringing you something very new and very weird. This is the Insurrection Overdrive. And I'm not even really sure what it has become. What it started off as is actually a clone of the Wave Cannon, which is a really interesting modified rat variant that lets you do some really strange things with a feedback circuit. But when I got to building it, I thought, I kind of wanted to do a little bit more. I wanted to do something different. So I redid a little bit of the circuitry, and I also added this battery starve feature so that you can starve this thing down from your 9-volt input down to about 3.7 volts. So it's just on the verge of crapping out completely, which creates some really interesting effects. And then you've got 8 different clipping options instead of just one. So you start with your standard wave cannon, which is going to be 2 asymmetrical LED diode, or I guess LED diode is redundant, but you know what I'm saying, red and green, and then from there on you've got a germanium setting at number 2, you have your standard tube screamer diodes like TS808 diodes right there. Position 4 is going to be something more along the lines of what you would have found in the dreaded JCM clippers when they were adding clipping diodes to the JCM heads, and then from there on you have the King of Tone diodes. You have something very similar to the OCD. You've got power diodes, which are very seldom used, maybe with the exception of a few Mesa circuits. And then position 8 is just wide open with no diodes in the circuit whatsoever. But here is my clean tone. And as always, I am playing through my Victory V40. I've got 2 vintage 30s and a twin 12 cab in front of me. And I'm using my Fender American Strat today, so... Beautiful. Love it. And the clicking in the background that you hear is because I live in a house built in 1940, and I don't have a good grounding system upstairs, something I hope to remedy soon. So here it goes. Clean tone again. Change to the germaniums, you notice it gets a lot quieter. Crank up the volume a bit. Tube screamer diodes, JCMs. King tone. OCD MOSFETs. Power diodes. A little throatier in the mids. And then wide open is an op-amp boost. Op-amp clipping. Not usually a pretty thing. Let's bring it back around to the standard wave cannon setting. Take the volume down a little bit. And keep the battery starve on. And then you can actually crank that battery starve down all the way. It gives you a little bit of adjustment. Now, and it's a lot more noticeable when you're playing single notes. So here's without the battery starve. Interesting. Let's try it in position 3. You get the idea. Starts to kind of get that ripping sound. Now, what does this thing do? What is Bedlam? The hell was he thinking, sticking a Bedlam switch in a pedal? Well, it's Insurrection, man. Bedlam is chaos. Let's do it. What does the Bedlam switch do? The Bedlam switch is a feedback switch, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways that this works. Right now, I've got my Ernie Ball VP tuner pedal in front of this, so I've got a buffer running. The buffer will negate the effect of the feedback to an extent, so you won't hear much of a difference. Until you pull the gain back, crank the volume up. Hear it in the background, starving. Get it just on the edge. Really weird. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to take the buffer out of the front of this pedal and I'm going to plug straight into it, and you'll see what Bedlam does when you don't have a buffer in front. Alright, we're back and our buffer is removed, so here you go. And that was the sound of me rolling off my guitar volume. Now you can control that massive amount of feedback a bit by starting with your controls right around 10 o'clock or so. All of them except for the battery starve. Start bringing them in slow. Bedlam off. Weirdness starts to ensue. For right now, we're going to leave the Bedlam alone. I'll let you figure out what's the best setting for that. Bring my tone back up, bring my presence back in, gain right about there. Volume back. One more thing on the battery starve I forgot to mention. This is really fun. Put a preamp in front of it. I'll be right back. And we're back. Preamp running in front of the pedal. We're going to use a Hudson Broadcast clone that I built myself. Starve it. Change the diodes up. So if you've got an EP boost, you've got something like that, whatever your favorite preamp is, put it in front and just let it rip. Here it is one more time without the preamp. With the preamp. Take the battery starve off. Interesting. That's all I can say. It's interesting. The Insurrection Overdrive. Does it serve a purpose? Who cares?